This is Louie. He's a big 17-hand, 4-year-old gelding by Roven Jazz Romer line. He's a little bit big and goofy at this point in his development. So just getting him started over some trot rails and some canter poles and a little fence is really all he needs right now. I do start them with some loose side reins, just so they have the idea of using their top line. Always first trotting through the poles, now setting them so that he can canter through the poles. I love using a little fan in the way I set the poles so that I can kind of adjust where he goes, depending on if it's a tighter circle or a larger circle. It helps him to kind of negotiate his footfall. And then raising them up, I did every other, just so he has something else now to kind of negotiate, a little height, just to lift those big legs and figure out where each foot goes. The rails for Louie are like a little puzzle for him, having to figure out where does he put his feet. At times he's going to come through and break. He might trip. Other times as he comes through, he might come through and split the rail between his front legs, which is not what we want either. And eventually he does figure out that he's got to bring both of his front feet over the top of the rail and go stride for stride through the poles. I let him repeat it a few times. And now changing direction so that he gets worked equally on both sides, getting him to trot back through the raised rails and eventually cantering again. In a moment, you're going to see I change my whole exercise. I put a small vertical down with a trot rail in front, and always just trotting them in, just letting them figure out where their feet go. And often you see this huge celebration behind the fence that they jumped their first fence. It was so exciting. So back to trot we go, trotting more fences, just getting him to figure it out. Here he scoots a little bit. The next one, he's going to jump from a longer distance and leap for it. And again, just repeating until he figures out, okay, I can just trot in and pop out. One thing I do try is to keep the fences still low enough, even if I make them a little bit bigger, that if he makes a mistake, isn't really sure about it, I can stay behind him and easily coax him to just pop over it. Again, yeehaw, big celebration, that was exciting. I actually try very hard not to have the horses celebrate after the fences. I like them to come back to the trot or the canter and figure out it's not such a big deal. And in today's session with Louie, I come back to the left, let him take just a couple of fences going to the left just to kind of even things out and figure out that he can jump a little bit out of stride off the left as well. Good boy, Louie.